All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 260th-ish episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Don't know the real number. If you've been an enthusiast and you've been thinking of listening to us for all this time, let us know, because we just out here doing it, and we know y'all stop counting, all right? We're live here at Emerald City, 213 Smithfield Street, the littest co-working space you can ever go to, all right? You come down here, the vibes are plenty, you know what I'm saying? You get you a nice spot, you get your networking on, you're getting real business done, all right? Black-owned co-working space. You know what I mean, I'm not just saying it because my wife owned it. I'm saying it because it's a dope vibe. I mean, they really are changing the landscape of the city. Downtown, you're in the center of the city. You can meet whoever you need to meet, get your work done. You know, you can meet contractors like we said, gonna have on the episode here. Any type of professional, it's happening down here. So make sure you tap into Emerald City. I'm half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us down here in Emerald City, down here on 213 Smithfield. You know what I mean?
Sir.
You can also find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
We Googleable. Lipson and Google, we Googleable.
And Spotify at Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. Been a few years now, man. 200 plus episodes we've been asking y'all. And we will continue to ask you. Please hop on Facebook, hop on iTunes, rate and review. That's how we know what we're doing well. That's how we continue to do well. And that's how we let others know that we're doing well. So please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review.
Listen, you love us. You've seen us out in the world. You tell us you love us. You watched our show. You tell us you love us. You've been to the festival. You tell us you love us, right? But we ask that you go on the internet. Tell the internet, tell the world. Give us suggestions. Let us know what you want to see from us. Let us know if there's places we need to visit, feature, all of that. People you know, people doing crazy things in the city. Let us know, man. We're here for the city, all right? And as always, in lieu of rates and reviews, we stepped our game up. We accept shots of Hennessy. All right, that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
But now, because we're in Emerald City and these are such swank, environment, we take shots of Glenlivet as our guests have brought in today. We do take shots of Glenlivet. You know, we pinky up guys now.
You know what I mean? This is happening in real life. You know what I mean? It's wild how you put it out in the ether. You manifest it.
That's what I'm saying.
You manifest it, and then Glenlivet just shows up on your table.
Closed mouths don't get fed, right? We do Glenlivet. But, you know, shout out to Car Guy DJ and the Conways for starting the trend. Shout out to everybody who's shown love. Shout out to everybody who's looking for us, who sees us say, I know you, I've heard you, I've been listening to you. We appreciate that. Even if I look at you funny because I don't know you, it's because I don't know you yet. Yet being the operative word. And if you want to see us consistently, right, we do have Ed and Day in the Bird. Season 2 out now. If you're listening now, Season 2 has already started. We are going to be doing premiere parties for each episode in the neighborhood that's featured on that episode. All right, so starting March 16th out in Homestead, and then moving forward, you can go to barrelandflow.com/events. Check out where we're going to be on that Thursday, man. Come out and see us. And if you haven't watched the show, you know what I'm saying, watch Season 1. You can binge watch Season 1. Apparently, it's good for children, too.
It's a whole family for a
whole family affair. We don't cuss a lot, you know what I mean? But we do cuss because we real, but not that much. All right, Season 2 out. And as always, August 12th, you know what I'm saying?
August
Half
12th.
of the podcast, we've been doing this. We just let go.
Barrel and Flow, man.
Let it flow.
Down in the Strip District, the Stacks at 3 Crossings, man. I mean, we will have over 100 breweries represented, 30 goods and service vendors, 30 food vendors, 15 nonprofits. Come down and, if you want to get into the industry, you want to have a good time. We have, 4 art stages, 2 music stages, 1 featuring DJs, 1 featuring live music. Come down there, have fun, even if you don't drink. I mean, maybe there's opportunity there. Maybe you just want to, enjoy the art. But August 12th down in the Stacks at 3 Crossings, if you want to get your learn on, we got the conferencing going on Friday at the Marriott City Center, our new hotel partners, across from the PPG Paints Arena. If you want to, share some of the beers that you got in your basement, we got the bottle share Friday night. You know what I mean? And then, Sunday we got the brunch. You want to do a little bit of networking before you go home? Come through on the brunch on Sunday. I mean, 3-day event. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that, we hosting you real well here in the city of the Burgh. I mean, showcasing, the best that we have to offer and the best that the nation has to offer in black brews. So, come through August 12th, barrelandflow.com.
You already know what it is, man. I always say it. It's a vibe. It's a real vibe. You know what I mean? And I think what once was a festival has now become kind of a lifestyle. It's become a staple. You come down, you enjoy a full weekend. Not only get your drink on, but you get educated. If you're looking for opportunities, they're there. If you're looking for people to meet and just network with, they're there. Almost like Emerald City, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And our guests, they've been to a few of the festivals. They'll talk about it. You may see a beer from them at the festival. You'll definitely see some of their professional dealings here at Emerald City. Not only what are they? What's the hair club for men? Not only am I an endorser, but I'm a member. You know what I'm saying? And you probably know them because they're more famous than us. You know what I mean? You know when a married couple is just known by their last name, they've been doing something right. You know what I mean? So we got the Russells here of Russell General Contracting in the building. Montae and Alexis, or Tae and Lexi, however they want to go. Say what up to the people.
What's going on, folks?
Hey, how y'all doing out there?
Okay, all right. They try to come in cool. They want to be professional. But they also brought Glenlivet, all right? They knew we was going to have beer, but they wanted to go ahead and chase the beer with a nice This ain't even regular Glenlivet. This ain't
it is.
This ain't the $63 Glenlivet.
No, that ain't the regular Glenlivet.
What president is this on the bottom?
That is the $43 Glenlivet. That is the standard that we sip on the daily.
Okay.
Oh, well, so if Glenlivet's your go-to, then that's different too. You know what I mean?
Also.
Look, if I'd have known we was drinking on the podcast, I would have, hey, we're going to do McKellen. We're going to do it up nice.
See, you bring the McKellen. We can't
Pinkies
even,
out.
we're not even expensive enough for McKellen. I borrowed a room at my wife's business to do the podcast. I better not be drinking McKellen.
We got to step it up then, man. We got to talk about the budget.
We got to talk about but we got to add to the budget.
Yeah.
So let folks know, like, Russell General Contracting. How did that come to be? Were you both in that field prior to meeting each other? Did you come together and say, you know what, we got to work with each other? Like, how did that work?
That's a story that is probably a book. But we can go with, we had 5 children, and we started this business out of necessity.
So prior to the business, you had the children?
Yeah, yep.
So you got a construction crew.
A bunch of 4-year-olds. Yeah, they're real effective. I got my degree in architecture from Temple in 2007. Montae was in the unions for some time. We've been together since 2009. 10-year anniversary is coming up on the 24th of March.
Black love.
Woo, woo, woo. Give it to the people. And I had lost a corporate job. I got laid off. I was pregnant with our now 7-year-old.
They lost you.
They lost me. That was definitely a thing. They messed up. The unions were just kind of doing what unions do. It's all good, but it was it was a downtime, and we were like, we got to do something. We got kids, and we got another one coming. So it was me and him on job sites. It started with experimenting on our house. Then we would have friends that were like, hey, do my bathroom, do my kitchen. Bet. That little bit of money coming in was absolutely money that we needed. Mm-hmm. And it slowly started changing over to, friends that had investment properties that needed a whole house done, or friends that had, little banks of apartments. And we were kind of, me and him, fighting, arguing, cussing, screaming, pregnant.
Because she an architect, I had made the switch. Literally, I had made the switch from the labor union, which I was in for like 12 years, to, all right, I want to do something different. I'm tired of tearing shit down. Let me build something up. So I went from the labor union, went to the carpenters union, got in, and I was starting over. So the labor union, I made a name for myself. I didn't have to call the hall or anything. I stayed with a company. They called me every time. But in the carpenter union, it was like starting from scratch. Nobody knows me. All right. And I remember to this day, I was laid off. I was at my boy's house on the waterfront playing 2K.
That's what you do.
That's what we do.
Have to go to work.
7-game series. She calls me what are you doing? I was like, I'm at my boy's house playing 2K. Like, what's up? She's like, I just got fired. I'm like, no.
You can't get fired.
Yeah, like-
I'm playing 2K.
Like, hold up, like, you pregnant? How they fire you when you pregnant? And she's like, I don't know. Like,
That is why. Ain't there some like laws against that shit like that?
We
man?
will add,
Yeah.
I sued them. We won.
There you go.
We got money. We started a business.
I've fired people, and I don't think I could do that if they were pregnant. I'd be like, can you just not come to work voluntarily?
Isn't it like
and it-
violence against like babies or something like that?
Right,
I mean, that's child abuse. You fire a pregnant woman. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I was a smooth 4 months in there, and it was me and him. We got a couple projects. I'm holding the drywall over my head on a ladder with a belly. He's holding it with his head. We trying to screw the drywall into the ceiling. It was.
I'm getting frustrated at her. Like, you got to hold this up. Like, it's heavy.
I was like,
Right.
I'm also holding your human child.
But she's
in
trying
my
to.
womb.
I was like, we got to switch because she was missing the screws. I'm like,
I was doing bad. I drew pictures. Architecture is very different than actually doing the work. So
Yeah. So it's. I mean, I would say you got both sides of it, right? You got the labor, you have the design, but then what else do you? So like when you're starting an architecture, I don't know if it's an architecture or a contracting business, right?
It's
Like
contracting,
How
yeah.
do you? It can't just be you two. Like, how do you get?
At
how
first,
are you contracting
it
out to
was.
individuals, or
it was
just
tough.
network, or how?
So, at first, we didn't know who we could trust. You know, it's your baby. You want to do everything yourself, make it right.
Right.
But to the point, me and her were like at odds all the time because she's an architect. Your thought might not work out. I'm building it. It's not. It's not making
This isn't
sense.
feasible, man.
Yeah, it's not making sense.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
idea versus like the
Right.
practical
Yes.
like application. And you need that,
Yes.
right? You need an idea person, and you need somebody to
Right.
be like, all right,
but
this
here's
is how
me.
close we can get to that.
This is how close.
If we were to draw what we were doing,
Right.
this is how it should,
This is how it should look. Yeah.
hypothetically go. And why it could go that way if we did additional things. It just, we worked it out. We figured it out.
You did 8-man drawings with a 2-man team.
Literally, literally. So I mean, it got to the point, you know, she was laying towel, like trying to go into labor. She finally
Trying
went
to get
into
that baby
labor.
out.
Well,
Yeah.
she didn't go into labor. She was like, you know, I need to be induced. Like, this needs to happen.
Get this kid out of
Like,
me.
Is that a decision you can make?
Because I have two previous
Yes.
successful human births, and they're
Right.
It's a numbers
17,
game.
14 now.
It's a numbers
The doctor
game.
said you've done this before. You've been a mother before. You've
You a
given
vet?
birth before.
You a vet?
He's like, we can induct, and it was only like a week. It wasn't that much, but I was like, can I please get induced because we got a project to finish.
Wow, I didn't know that could.
I got plans.
I have things to do, and they did. They induced us, and Harper Reese is now 7.5 years old and has spent more time on a construction site than probably you guys have.
Yes.
Any amount of time on a construction site.
Like,
I've walked into one of your
More than
construction
that.
sites
You have.
because they did my crib, so I walked into it, but I wouldn't say I spent time there. Like I walked through and looked like, I mean, Felix.
I mean,
Not my man Felix. That was my
Felix
homie,
was
man.
the homie, right?
Felix was the
Like,
homie.
Felix.
shout out to Felix.
Shout out to Felix.
unless you consider like, you know what I mean, like, you know, traffic construction as a site, because I mean, spending a lot of time in that shit. Pittsburgh is constantly under
Constantly.
At all times.
28.
Yes.
fuck
They not
yes.
trying
yes.
to finish those jobs.
No.
We
They're
drove
not.
through it today to go to
Yeah.
cheer practice, and I'm like, why is that Bobcat parked on that hillside like that? Like, can y'all move, do something.
Yeah, I don't think that those have like a stated timeline.
No.
They don't send out like we're gonna be doing this. This is the like. They don't do none of that. It's
No.
just like
Nothing.
motherfuckers show up with construction shit. And you be like, well, what you doing, dude?
And everybody fight over who gonna hold the sign because
you
nobody
go-
wants to actually
Yeah.
do the work.
you get that job. I want that
That's
job.
the
It's
job
called
you
Flag
need,
Force, and there
right.
is a certification that you have to do that. But
can
it's
pass
not
that test.
hard to do.
I
You can
mean,
pass it, Ed. I got you.
Like my issue is when you go past this whole fucking site, it has all the like the cones and shit and everything set up, and not a motherfucker is there. You like, and you just go past. It's like ain't nothing happening.
Nothing.
The fuck yeah.
Everybody standing at the truck.
Yeah. So, but I think so. We're joking about it, but that's a real thing for
No,
you all.
it
Like,
is.
how do you manage? So you have multiple projects going on, and we'll get into some because these are big projects going on. Like, how do you manage, workforce and timelines with that? Because with construction, something can go wrong at any point. I find it crazy that it was just you two because you're dealing with plumbing and electrical. Like, You
We had
certified and
subs
all
for
that
that.
too? Okay.
Yeah,
No, we had
but
subs for that.
Not in the beginning.
No.
YouTube was my best friend.
And I will tell you, I love you so much. But baby, you are terrible at
I'm
plumbing.
terrible at
Y'all
plumbing.
was
He's
lying.
so bad at plumbing.
I am terrible at plumbing.
If I walked in and my contractor was watching YouTube,
No, not on the job. I did that at home. I will never let you see me fail.
he walk in, he got the phone on the. Hey, what is it? I could have done that.
Hold on, I'm trying to get your P-trap right. Chill out. Relax.
No, but Harper, literally. So she had her, she took some time off. I was still working, but to the point we both couldn't take time off. So
Right.
Harper, we were doing.
It was a house.
It was a
They
house,
wanted it
so-
like an extension of their bathroom.
Yes.
And she had small kids. So I was just like, hey, I want to get you guys done.
Yeah.
I got to bring the baby. She's like, oh my God, bring the baby. I love babies. And I'm like,
She
all
was a
right,
stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
She had
that seemed
twins.
weird,
The
like,
twins were maybe like 1.5, 2 years old. They were little. So when I came in with the baby in the car seat, she would come in. She would like lay out on her bed, like lay out blankets. And she's like, I just wash these. She
Yeah.
would lay them out. Her name was Amber. God bless Amber, because she really helped us get started for real.
Like literally, we met her at PNC in Penn Hills, our bank.
At the
so
bank.
we go deposit checks or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, you do construction?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then like she went in there one day, and she's like, "Oh, the girl at the bank they want their kitchen done because their kitchen connected from their bedroom you can go to the kitchen, and they had like a master bathroom, but it was all connected. So they wanted to cut that off.
You need floor plans to understand
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm kind of.
So it was a hallway that led from their bedroom to the kitchen.
Right.
But there was a side door you can go to the bathroom. So they wanted to close off. They wanted to close off that side door. No,
No,
it
it
was
was one
it
level.
was one, but
It was a ranch.
It was a no, yeah, it was like a ranch. It was definitely a ranch. So you can, she was like, I don't like people being able to have access to my bedroom from the kitchen. So we were able
that's
to
real.
build a wall, cut everything off, and now you got a big master suite. So that's what we did.
And she was super nice.
She was adorable.
We would do stuff like, okay, baby's in the car seat. We in there laying towel or putting the flooring down, sanding the drywall. Baby starts fussing. I go in, I nurse her, and then she lays there for a few more minutes, and then Montae goes in on poop duty.
Yeah, like we
Always make us do.
we took
junk
turns.
and shit.
Yeah, And I always smell like
I'm
popcorn.
producing food for my body. The least you can do is
All
wipe
right.
up what's
It's
left.
just they always throw the trump card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They throw that trump card. But what the focus of this is, what's great is her investing in a local, contractor and giving an opportunity and not expecting like everything to fit into some box of what I envision, right? Like these folks, I've seen them a couple of times, look like hard workers. They're working hard. They're trying to get this done for me. They seem, with what they got going on, they're more dedicated to the job than anything that I've ever seen. And she doesn't know, or she may know now, but look what it's developed into,
That
what
part.
it's blossomed
Yes.
into.
Absolutely.
And that work ethic up front, a job where you have larger teams, I don't know if it feels easier now because you had to do it one-on-one or
No.
managing people always sucks.
Managing adults.
Yeah,
Yeah,
managing adults
yeah.
always suck. But I think it's easier. Like we were able to separate roles. So the back office stuff, estimates, contract, she handled all that. Like on-site building, that's all me. So once we were able to separate roles, like our relationship became better. Because we weren't constantly
Lanes. Man.
literally we still had to stay in our
lanes
lanes.
guy.
Like, yeah, we got to. Because it was just like we mad at work, now we mad at home.
Right.
And it's like, this can't be. Like, so we not talking at work, now we not talking at home. Like,
And somebody got to cook dinner because
and
these kids
somebody
want
got
to
to
eat
cook dinner.
every day.
Yeah.
So the kids want to talk, but we don't want to talk to nobody because we mad. Like, so once we started separating roles, everything got better. The business got better. We started learning how to do things a little more efficient. And, but then it comes into, then our next problem is, having guys that actually show up and want to work. So
what is that like in the contracting? Like, because you hear this around when you go shopping or you go anywhere, it's like people don't want to work. But in contracting, I feel like this is their skill. So how does that work with staff and getting people to? You're saying
So
it sounds like it's similar.
We've had a little bit of that part with folks just not wanting to show up. We started building team with family, quite honestly. So his younger brother Ryan who we call Peanut affectionately.
There's always a peanut.
There's always a peanut.
Always.
Everybody got a peanut.
Always, yeah.
Everybody got peanut.
I had an aunt peanut. You know what I mean?
Everybody got a
That's
peanut.
new.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
new.
Everybody got a peanut.
I knew a peanut.
Yeah.
That lived in Braddock.
Yeah, it's probably my aunt.
Probably
Peanut.
your aunt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's crazy.
She had
Oh,
locks
they
back
also
then?
know each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, yeah. That's
I feel
definitely
like-
her. That's
I feel
definitely
like
her.
it's harder
I don't
to
know Aunt Peanut.
It's harder to have a woman peanut because she has the hair to cover the peanut head.
Yeah.
Right.
So her shit is like real defined.
But no, like a woman peanut's like she tiny, like
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
I mean,
Like,
she was
okay.
a
Like-
tiny,
like no, my brother Peanut, he had a peanut head.
Yeah.
And look, you know what I mean?
White
So-
people, if you're listening, this happens. Peanut is huge in our community.
It's a
There's
thing.
always one.
two different peanuts. It's a male
I've
peanut
learned.
and a female peanut.
I've learned about the female peanut
Yes.
today. I will mark this down in my calendar.
I mean, low key, high key, same.
But no, like my brother, he worked in Braddock Hospital. Before they tore it down, he was there for 5-6 years. Then once they tore it down, he transferred to Mercy. So he was there for a while, making, I think, roughly $16 an hour. Like, that was their top pay.
You ain't got to do that to him.
So, no, but listen. No, but so I say
his
that.
whole
No, I
W-2s
say
out.
that because he was there. He was there for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So when they start bringing the new people in, they was bringing them in at the same pay rate.
That would
wage.
piss- yeah.
So
Yo,
yeah,
that's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's like it is wild how like same thing with phone companies. It's like,
Right.
oh, so I've been here, so I get
yeah,
penalized with this shit.
yeah. So you bring these new people in at the same pay rate as me.
Yeah, no.
So he was like, I had to, talk to him. Hey, I know you've been there for years. Come with me. I'm gonna start you off at 15, but under the table at the start.
That's tax free. That's
tax free.
That's a real 15.
Yeah, that's a real.
Yeah.
All that 15.
I would just
You get
like the
all
IRS. I would like the IRS to know that this was 8 years ago.
Well,
Eight
no,
years
this was
ago.
not Russell General Contractor.
No.
Not at all.
No.
This was Tae Russell.
This is a hypothetical.
This was Tae and
conversation.
them.
Tae and them. Tae and them contract.
Paying them.
It was a side job.
Paying them doing stuff. It was not a
Definitely
formal
a side
organization.
job. No, but he was able to all right, you can keep all them taxes. Now you making more than what they paying you. Let me see how good you are. Let me train you. So we had to get into that. Like we had to get into training. So let me train you on how to do certain things. Now there's a problem with training. We lose money when we're training because it takes longer.
Yeah.
We put
But-
them on jobs
yes,
to train them,
yes.
and we know it takes them
But-
longer than what it would ordinarily.
These are employees that we know aren't going anywhere. They're showing their loyalty, so we got to show our loyalty. And all right, we're gonna lose a little money up front. Like, of course, like me and her arguing. She's like, they need to be faster. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they not fast. They not ready yet.
Right.
But they gonna get faster, and at some point they're gonna get faster. So, we train them up, and all right, let me see your skill level. So we pay by skill level. If you doing good and I don't have to coach you anymore, you getting a pay raise.
Right.
So he went from his 16 to, a higher pay rate. And then now he's
Quickly.
making more quickly because
Quickly.
he didn't know he had a knack for it.
And then when they start being able to prove it that
Yeah.
they're qualified to take on certain projects, and we have confidence that we can take on certain projects, that's how we got into the projects that we ended up taking on.
Yeah.
So when we went into August Wilson House, we had done some steel framing, but
Yeah.
now we got the structural steel
Yeah.
framing.
And they had no clue what to do.
But you know what we did? One of the first meetings that we had here at Emerald City, shout out, is I sat in that big boardroom and I pulled out a whole bunch of big sets of architectural documents, drawings, and I trained them. I'm an architect, right? I know what these drawings mean. I know what these symbols are. I know what all this crud on this piece of paper is. And we sat down for a day. We bought them lunch and we just sat in here and I had different sets of documents and I broke them up in groups of 3s and I taught each of them. How do you read these documents so that when we go to these big projects that you can actually take on what it is that they're throwing at us? And I don't have to be there to explain it to you. He don't have to be there to explain it to you. So we started doing stuff like that where it was just like this continuous learning thing and keeping them trained. We put some of them through the lead certification. We put all of them through their OSHA training. We put all of them through like all these different little things. Oh, you're kind of into that? Cool. I'm gonna put you through this training. Oh, you're digging that? All right, I'm gonna put you through this training. So we've put them through numerous levels of training so that we as Russell, because they're part of the team now, right? We as Russell can take on some of the projects. That's how we accomplished August Wilson House. That's how we accomplished the stabilization at the National Opera House. We did Pittsburgh Promises offices. We did youth places in the convention center. We did Happy Day Dessert Factory on the North Shore. We did Fudge Farm in the waterfront.
They got them swings. Y'all did the swing?
We did the swings.
Yes,
we did the steel.
Y'all do the swings.
We did the steel on the swings.
Yeah. Those Woody High alumni, I mean, right? Down the Fudge Factory?
Is he?
I think it's Woody High.
I don't think I knew that.
We're going to fact check that because, you know.
Not fact checking.
We fact check that because
I saw an article. I saw an article.
I got to look that up.
Sure that's Woody High alum.
Well, pull up the article, damn it.
Pull up the article.
Yeah, I got to check that.
And me and Ed are outnumbered right now because these two Woody High dudes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we the school champions.
Yeah. Well, are these Fudge Farm dudes bald, light-skinned dudes?
Well, you know what? He was
Woody
a part
High
of it.
has a type. Woody High has a type, apparently.
As I look around.
That type is champion.
Yes.
That's what the type is.
As I look around.
We sacrifice our hair for winning.
Sacrifice I'm not willing to make.
The finish line and the hairline are very similar.
Yes.
But so as you it's because I hear you talking about the various like programs and like pay structures and things of that nature or whatever. And it's wild because I'm still learning a lot of shit about like owning a business or whatever in general. Where do you because I mean it's one thing to have degrees in various things and be doing what you're doing, but then to actually own a business is a whole nother skill set.
Right.
So how do you learn that skill? Where do you go to kind of learn those skill sets and where do you come up with these systems? Right. You know what I mean, how do you educate yourself on that? And then, as a small business owner, what are the things that you, one, find the most difficult and two, find the most rewarding?
Okay, so I'm going to start with how do we figure out the back end stuff? Mm-hmm. So I'm trained as an architect. I am not an accountant. I am not a lawyer. All that stuff gives me anxiety. Mm-hmm. We had to build a team, and I try to do a lot of it by myself, specifically on the back end, right? Where I was losing sleep. I was stressed out. I was drinking a whole bunch of this here Glenlivet. This is not a paid plug.
No, we've been trying to get them on board.
Well, maybe they will now that they know that they got me through some really hard shit. Because
they gonna reach out at some point.
They gonna have to. Them or Uncle Nearest. Uncle Nearest, please.
Yo, we stay with some Uncle Nearest.
It stays in the building.
So shout out to Uncle Nearest. They have sponsored the fest a few times.
Okay, well let's expand that.
Good folks, good people's down at Uncle Nearest. If you find a bottle, man, it is good shit.
That is fantastic.
Uncle
93 and 100 proof.
Uncle Nearest has put me to sleep on many occasions.
It's solid shit.
Yes.
But what we found very quickly was, okay, to build the buildings, you need to have qualified boots on the ground, qualified human beings that understand safety, understand what the hell we're doing here. And we nailed that, right? We're doing really, really good on that end. Quality control, all that stuff is great. But it was me back here doing the back end stuff, all the legals and the contracts and the accounting. And I'm like, bro, I can't. This is not what I do. And this is the year that I have decided that Russell General Contracting is going to be a big kid company. And now we're bringing on the lawyers and we're bringing on the accountants and the financial advisors and the tax advisors. Because one, I'm trying to trump the hell out of my taxes. I don't want to pay nothing.
Well,
but when
you're trying to pay the appropriate
the
level
appropriate
of
amount
taxes.
of taxes. Hey, I know the IRS is already listening.
We don't know who's watching us because we're on television.
We're just trying to get a little something back.
What the fuck going on in my life?
But we really had to build a team of people that can facilitate this back end stuff. Admin, HR. When they're all on payroll, right? some got some garnishments that need to be, like, all of these things are little pieces. It seems very small, but when you're sitting here and you're going to every single meeting for all of these different projects, and you're sitting here and you're doing all of these things, and you need to update your capability statement, you need to do this, you need to do that. It was me. And I was giving myself a mental breakdown, and I had to realize that I need a team to do that. So that was the answer to the first part of the question.
Yeah, I mean, you need to delegate so that you can do what you're good at.
Right.
Just because you're doing it doesn't mean you're like
Doesn't mean I'm good at it.
Doesn't mean you're good at it.
Doesn't mean I'm good at it.
All startups have that, like, all right, you got to be an everyman until you get to a point where you could pay every man to do that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's dope that you're now getting to that place.
We've also gone through a number of programs with like the EIC, Energy Innovation Center, with Juan Garrett.
Yeah.
The
Shout out to Juan Garrett.
BizFit program.
That's your cousin, Juan Garrett?
Yeah.
We related to everybody.
He's related to my other cousin, who's actually an actor.
Whose name is Montae Russell.
Whose name is Montae Russell. I was named after.
You was named after your cousin?
Lance in Players Club.
Wait, Lance? No way.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Wait, did he slept with Monica Calhoun?
Yeah.
You better stop claiming him.
That's no.
Yo, you
That's Juan's brother.
Oh, okay.
That's
Because,
what-
there's certain characters you see in movies where, like, I wouldn't walk with you in real life.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I still
you're
ain't get over
Storm.
Cameron in Paid in Full.
I like Cam and Paid in
I'm
Full.
just starting to get over Cam's role in that. Like,
The one I don't like is I'm gonna twist this nigga cat back from Menace Society. Whoever that dude is.
And Menace Society
He was in
smooth.
Players
What
Club,
year?
too.
Like, what year was that?
That was
The bald dude, he was in
Yeah.
Players Club too. He boy, I would never ever take a photo with him in real life.
Yeah, he was-
terrible human.
he had a bad part in Players Club. So.
Yeah, he had a bad part in every movie he's played in.
You right about that?
Yeah.
Except for
Nope, ain't no positive role. in him. His face ain't even a positive face.
It wasn't
I
a
can't even
positive
look
role,
at him
but,
and think positive thoughts. You ain't gonna be able to think of it. You didn't.
who's Pinky in
I know you.
Clifton Powell?
Clifton
Not
Powell.
you
He
almost
was
made
good
me
and
spill this
bad.
yak on this $200.
But he good and bad.
He always in that.
But he good and bad.
Yeah, he good and
Because in
bad.
The Brothers, like, he was a foul dude that had turned his life around. Listen, I am still your father.
Hey, I felt that, like, because I be talking to my dad wild, like, but if he ever hit me with that Clifton, I am still your father.
Like, I like him.
He is, you right.
Say it again. Say another.
So, getting back to what we were discussing, I think, and I forget where I saw this, but it was like at some point your skill will be surpassed by your scale, right? And that's where you would need to reach out to, and not a plug, but what I've seen with Wifey is here at Emerald City, like that's the I think the value of these co-working spaces is you'll have that accountant, that attorney, those folks who have those specialized skills, and you're working and networking with each other, and you can barter, services, or you might get, they gonna charge you full price a lot of times too. Pay the full price, you're getting the full service, you know what I mean? But just not having to take that on so you can focus in on the projects, because you're gonna get more projects. Like, you get to a certain skill level, now larger companies gonna be reaching out, larger projects are reaching out, and you're like, all right, I gotta find the manpower to do this, because I can't say I'm doing this one already, this one is coming.
We've been on one right now where I'm looking like, who gonna do all this?
So
we'll
then
figure
what
it
goes
out.
into that? Like, how do you bid on it, like, and not know who's gonna do it?
Well, the reality is we can find people.
Okay.
We have a network, and that's the power of building a network, of knowing who you can go to for certain things, because the reality is you can't do it all by yourself. It can't be me and Montae no more and expecting to take on $2.2 million contracts. Like, it just can't be us. But we do have a network where we've tapped into that allows us the opportunity to really find some folks that, even if they're not permanent, they can hop on payroll for a little while, and we can do the thing that we need to do and then keep it pushing. Because my goal is ultimately retention, because there's a very real opportunity cost to hiring people, tracking down people, interviewing people. I mean, you got to check all kinds of references and see what kind of work they can do. But when you have a network and people that are being recommended by certain folks that you know and trust, it makes it a little bit better. And because, like, I trust my network. I do. Like, we got some good folks around. Camille is one of them. Like, we've been working on this building.
Yeah,
we've been working on this building.
Got it looking beautiful.
I am the vice president of the board of Greenwood
You
Plan.
are.
Another shameless plug. I am
Keep
here.
plugging, girl. Because if we get one membership off of an episode,
If we
that
get
make
one membership-
I get 2 good weeks of love.
Listen,
That's 2
and
good weeks at the crib.
I do everything from facilitating environmental phase 1 inspections to changing light bulbs. Thanks, Montae.
Keep doing that. If Emerald City's in order, my house is so much happier.
Emerald
There
City
you go.
is a move and it's a
Everybody
vibe, and I
wins.
believe in what's happening here.
wins.
I believe that, and one thing about our organization is we have gotten to a point where we work so much with nonprofit organizations, and those nonprofits have a certain level of, I want to phrase this the right way, I don't want to say ignorance, but lack of experience with construction in general. Okay. And nonprofits have typically been steered away from asset ownership, building ownership,
Right.
property ownership. So when you're getting into a situation where, okay, we realize that this could be financially and fiscally beneficial for a nonprofit to actually invest in a property and utilize that as some sort of revenue generating something or other.
But then when you say
But then they don't know.
Profits, that's a different.
But that's where we're at. So
Yeah.
because we have the experience that we have Youth Places is a nonprofit. Pittsburgh Promise is a nonprofit. That's the Pittsburgh Foundation. Hill CDC is a nonprofit. The Opera House is a nonprofit. August Wilson House is a nonprofit. We have been working with these nonprofits because I serve on a lot of boards. I understand how nonprofits work and how their money flows. Could be at a detriment to me because they slow, but it's a matter of helping them understand the process that goes into building, acquisition, ownership, et cetera. So that's what we've been kind of focusing our energies on. At the same time, projects y'all don't know about, we building a Chase Bank in East Liberty. We holding contracts for that. Yeah. We building, like I can build Dollar Trees.
You conflicted with that.
I am, but that's what I'm saying. That's why y'all don't hear about those.
Not me, because bills need paid.
But the reality is,
And they're
there's
on
a whole
time.
bunch of like soulless projects that we could do, but we put a lot of emphasis on shit that means something to us.
Right.
It's like I give a damn about Emerald City. I've been here since the beginning, and I'm really ready to see all of these things kind of take off, and I foster that. In the interim, yeah, I'm gonna take a Dollar Tree. Well, I'm gonna take this commercial project, because we got the capacity to do it. If it's just pushing papers, I can do all that. But the reality is, we have found a space where shit that means something to us, we gonna help you build that up. Yep. Our hashtag is we build shit. The other pieces of it is it's bigger than the build.
Yes.
It's bigger than the build. It's not about making the money necessarily, which also give me my shit, but it's not necessarily about just making the money.
Yeah, I mean, like
For her.
You quote me. You quote the movie.
yeah, no, I mean, it
It is about money because I like my BMW, but
yeah. I mean, like, I think when folks say that or whatever, people misconstrue it as if like money doesn't matter, and it's not that. I feel like if you focus on quality, focus on people, if you focus on like the product, right, you focus on the work, the money will come. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if you know your focus, if you know what you're doing, you have that, and you're consistent, and you offer that quality, then the money will come. But if you're just looking out, if you're just looking for the hustle, you're just looking for the next bag, if you're just looking for like a short term, whatever, like you're cutting costs or whatever.
Yes.
That's what when you say like, time and onboarding and like training and this, that, and the other,
Right.
it makes sense that you would try to pay more to retain people.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because it seems cheaper to just pay them a bit more and keep them than to have to bring on a new person.
Yep.
But it's wild how so many businesses are just kind of like willing to let that
churning.
like churning
They're
through it. You know what I
churning.
mean? And like it is just like, because man, especially like with the restaurant industry and things of that nature, so much like time just like on like I used to have like, so I've had a lot of fucking jobs. Half those jobs was just like I spent a week in training at a place. It was like I just needed a couple of dollars. I ain't never actually working that motherfucker. I quit as soon as the first day. I was just like, this ain't for me, and I just wiped peace out. But I got paid just for training, just sitting in the fucking classroom and then doing a day of work. You see what I'm saying?
But then you got to go back and fill out more applications.
Yeah, more applications. Yeah, that's
and
cool.
more sitting and calls
I'm
and interviews.
doing that with a training check. Yeah, I mean, so it's a nice little. You know what I'm saying? You could really make a living off of just like just hopping
training.
from training to training. You see what I'm
Training
saying?
check.
Well, why would But again, like it seems as if you understand the quality of folks and whatnot. What advice would you give to folks? Because I know one of the things about starting your own business is demanding your worth and demanding your value. I mean, and I know that is one of the things that folks struggle with when, like you said, they're in a job, the job isn't paying them, and a lot of times you have to kind of abandon that job in order to find somebody that's going to pay you more on that onboarding or whatever. So, like, what advice would you give folks, whether they're business owners or working for somebody else, about like identifying and demanding their value?
I would think at first you have to know your value. You have to know your value. In order to demand that, you have to know it. So for us, it's like, all right, we know what we bring to the table. This is our baseline. Our baseline is still going to make us money. But let's go ahead and, add a little more on top of that, because I know my guys are going to take care of that. So it goes back to, like us talking about, we need to have the back of house things. We need to tighten that up. That was the last thing we needed to do, because we needed guys that we can trust to get this job done. So as far as a job, we know we can get it done in a timely manner. It's going to be efficient, and it's going to be pretty once we're done. But the back of house is where we were lacking. So now it's time for that to, take precedent, and we need to work on that. So I think it's tough, because what we found out is, all right, I think we didn't even realize it. And I think it was one of our mentors was like, if you make it to year 5, you're good. And it was like, we were in year 5 and we didn't realize it. But year 5, we turned a profit. And it was like
a substantial one.
We were like, whoa. Because it was like, yes. So it was
all on paper.
All on paper.
The profit where the numbers
it
just
was
kept
legal.
coming out positive.
So
like it was just working out.
For the first 5 years, we broke even. It was enough to pay our bills.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We had some rough years.
We had some rough years. Cars was repoed, like mine was repoed, then hers was repoed. I'm like,
You ain't got to tell them all our business.
No.
Once you put the brother out there,
Yeah.
once you put the brother's W-2s out, everything's on the table.
No, he wants to know about starting a business. Like, you need to know.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be some tough times.
It's not. A lot of people think like, you take this leap and then it's just like whatever, and it's like, there's so many times where I've just been like, well, who the fuck hiring?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's still a possibility. And it's still honestly like, who's to say I may not go back to working for somebody at some point? If I'm not above that or whatever.
I am unemployable. I have. I'm gonna just stop
after
you
so many years.
Bro, I have been self-employed. I just posted this on Facebook. I have been self-employed for 8 years.
Yeah.
I am an HR nightmare. Like there's nobody.
Right? You've seen all because
I've been on both sides, and it's just like, one, I know what you're doing. Two, I'm also not taking that from you. Like I was already, I'm spicy, I'm a little
but
salty.
I think what a lot of people don't understand, like what they forget to do is they're automatically looking for a return on their investment immediately. We didn't make money until year 5.
4 or 5,
and that's a pretty standard situation.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of investment.
Starting
and
a
Of
business.
people give up.
Yes, they give
They'd
up.
be like, oh, first year I didn't make no money.
You have for the first 5 years, you got to keep reinvesting in your business, or it's not going to grow. You're wasting your time for the first 5 years. You have to keep reinvesting. Like for us, it was buying. All right, we got this saw. All right, it's only a 10-inch blade, but we're going to make it work. All right, we got this other job. We need a bigger saw. So as our business grows, our tools have to grow.
Now you need a metal saw.
Yes.
Because there's different saws for wood and for metal. Like,
now you need somebody.
My finger on a table saw.
Yeah.
There is a saw.
Yeah, there's a saw for metal.
Just secret about myself, which is not a secret, but I don't fix shit. And when I say I don't fix shit, I mean nothing.
You know what's funny? Because when Little Egg came down, when we were doing your kitchen, he came down with his little toolbox. They were plastic. He wasn't getting much done, but he came down ready to work.
He was ready. He puts things together. He could.
That is my little homie.
Everything that I can't do, I can put words together, words and numbers. Got you. Anything physical, tangible to be touched, fucking it up. Not doing it right.
There are different bits.
Yep.
Like the drill, like you need a masonry bit to drill through block. You
Yeah.
need a steel bit.
Comedy bits. I was just like,
Different bits, yeah.
But wait, you're in your
we need
thread.
different bits too. You
You're
know
in
what
your
I'm saying?
thread.
Don't sleep on what I do. It's different crowds.
We got bits.
I performed at Emerald City and a VFW out in
Not
McDonald's.
the VFW.
It's two different. A VFW is a different type of show. That ain't a regular show. Because you might end up missing after that show, depending on what you said.
Meanwhile, here's me asking him, like, can you please inventory what you already get? Because all the Home Depot receipts come to my email. And I'm like, when you've been to Home Depot 11 times in a day.
But it don't be my fault. So I'll go grab
okay.
something, and then the guys be like, "Oh, we out of this too."
Yo,
So I gotta take another trip.
That's
Like,
men shopping.
yeah, it's men shit.
You ain't getting shit
It's
on the
men
first
shopping.
shop. We ain't getting shit on the first shop.
It's like she's, if you don't send me with a list to this grocery store,
What you expect?
I'm gonna forget some things. Oh, okay.
See,
that's all it is.
That's the dish. That's the leftover dish. You
That's
get done with
literally.
the dishes, and they bring the cup in.
That
Yeah,
pisses you
like,
off, right?
come on.
Well, yeah.
Thank
but,
you.
But you know what?
I feel seen.
Yeah. No, yeah. When the suds is gone.
Yeah, the suds is gone too.
Drop that little saucer in. The little plate too. Like, why you even grab that
And you
plate?
try to slide it in there real slick. Like,
grab
I ain't
that
gonna
plate.
see that white ass dish in that
Or you
black
put it
ass
in the
sink.
wrong side of the sink.
Yeah. That
Put it
part.
in the dishwater. Let it break up that shit you got on it. Let's break that up.
No, then they mad, so they wash it with no dishwashing liquid.
Are we doing marriage stuff right now? Because we could do it. Like,
Whatever's
we've been
left on
one
that
all
sponge.
day.
We don't want to do that. We won't do that because if
Whatever-
my shit start coming out, it's gonna be one-sided. She gonna start a podcast.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Talk about what it's like working with me.
No, they gonna start a podcast.
No, I refuse. So let me ask.
Camille
so-
gonna say, Ed, let me borrow your equipment real quick.
No. She know I ain't got no damn equipment. I ain't got nothing but a lawnmower. That's it. I bought a leaf blower, broke it. I was like, I'm terrible at all of this. But let me ask, so in your industry, I find this interesting. So you're talking about knowing your worth, right? So when you get folks on retention, how difficult is it to retain someone versus them going out as a contractor? Because if someone has a certain skill set, you would think they could demand more, but also they got to get the jobs. Like, how does that work in your industry?
So we had this situation,
Okay.
the retention conversation. You got to watch who you bring on. Some people can be a cancer to your organization. We had a situation in a certain project where things were taken that shouldn't have been taken. And that type of environment, we didn't find out about it till afterwards. So it wasn't nothing we can do about it. The job was done. But things were taken, and I was just like, done. Right. He's done. There is something to be said about just being satisfied. I've worked in plenty of corporate environments. I was corporate as hell before I started my job. I'm sorry, my company. Mm-hmm. Now I'm out here with my nose ring and my dreadlocks, and
Yo, it is dope to that is one of the things that
if you look at my pictures from me 10 years ago,
I think it's like one of I remember being in a
new
meeting,
corporate.
The other day, and just I was like,
just like this.
I walked out and I had like a hoodie on and like some t-shirt, some tennis shoes and shit, and it's just it was wild because I was like, man, 10 years ago, this meeting would have been button up,
Yes.
whatever. Honestly,
hair pressed.
Yeah, all the when you talk about success or whatever, all the accolades, all the awards, this and the other. The thing that I value most is the fact that I'm able to be comfortable.
Right.
Comfortable
in whatever
in my
environment,
zone.
wherever I go at.
Because our intellect doesn't change based on the fact that I got a hoodie and some locks.
But it does make you nervous if you come in like, oh, I got to get dressed up, button up suit. You don't feel like yourself.
Right.
So when
that
you're in
makes
your
it
own
worse.
environment, it makes it worse. So when you're in your own environment, hoodie, t-shirt, dreadlocks, nose ring, I can be myself. I'm comfortable here. You're not going to judge me by my appearance. So I don't have nothing. I can put everything out on the table and not hold back.
Yeah,
Shouldn't you show up in
buy
work
my
boots?
product.
Shouldn't you show up in work boots?
Oh, work
Like,
boots.
if- if-
Wait.
I feel like if I got a contractor coming in
That is
and
an
his
OSHA
hands is too
standard.
soft, if his
There-
hands is too soft,
There is an OSHA
if I shake
standard
a contractor hand and it's too soft,
Yeah.
then he's not getting a job.
that is for safety reasons. It's not because of appearance.
If we're on site,
Right? You need to have
I got
boots.
work boots on.
You
I
gotta
got
have
work
pants.
Boots, I got a hard hat. I got jeans. Hard hat.
Yeah,
So-
there is a safety
I don't know,
standard,
man. I had some
but
people
also
did on my shit
I
that
feel like
was too
professionalism is it's
Right,
manufactured.
right, but professionalism in contracting is a little dusty boot. Yeah, you got to have some shit. You got to look like you just came from a job.
But hear me out. I grew up in architecture, right?
Okay.
I grew up with literally middle-aged white men.
Right.
Whatever toots. That was my experience. And I worked in firms for years. I was doing all kinds of things for years. No matter how I was dressed, because I was a little pretty black girl that showed up that knew some shit, right? Like I knew my stuff. I was good. My GPA was high. Like I was real smart in school, even during my internships. I was dealing with that whole kind of like discrediting, she don't really know nothing. And then now I know my things. He knows his things. And I'm gonna pull up just like this and sit in your meeting and really be ready to go. Because here's the thing, once we start dropping the nuggets, right? Once we start presenting ourselves and presenting our portfolio, presenting what we do, what I look like, not to say I'm out here looking bananas, but I feel like what I look like now would not have been traditionally accepted in 2009.
Well, let me ask you about knowing something, right? Mm-hmm. So what I've seen as I've gone through life is the knowing something is different. So when you're walking around and you're getting yourself ready, right, you're thinking, I got to know the job. And you're looking at this motherfucker who ain't as well put together as you, like, what the fuck? But it's like identifying what the job is. So you might know how to put together a rendering, but he might know how to put together a rendering that is attractive to a potential whatever. And so I think how would you rate? I think that's what they look at when they say you don't know anything. They don't know how to sell the job. She don't know how to sell. Like she could do the job. I can pay her to put the rendering together, but she ain't gonna be able to sell it. And I think that's where people are looking at it, and that's what we got to get over. And that's what delegation gives them the opportunity to do, because they can delegate the actual task, right? Mm-hmm. The actual thing that is sold. They can delegate that, but the selling of it, that's where their expertise comes in, and that's the thing that they don't want to. That's what they don't want to tell people.
So we have a partnership with a big GC.
Okay.
He loves that we sell it. They love our little story, right? Mm-hmm. We got all the kids. I got 6 chickens. Yeah, I got a big garden.
Another thing that I wanted to discuss could be on the podcast or off. We don't want to stop here.
We will talk about it. But and I have eggs and I do not sell them. I just give them away because I like my birds. But this particular organization, Angelo Martini, he has really served as a mentor. We walked into the pre-bid meeting for August Wilson House, and it was like you go through all your line items and you account your things, and he's just like, okay, did you count for J channel? Did you count for this? Did you count for that? Like just making sure that we had all of the scope covered.
Right.
So before we took the job and be like, oh, I didn't account for that. When we did it and it came through thorough, he was like, I like y'all. Yeah. And I was like, okay, great. Like, I'm from Plum. Lots of white people like me. Like, it's fine. But when we sat down and had the conversation, the other contractor was in the room. And we were out in the lobby. He was like, you're going to get this job. I just really want to make sure that you are ready to learn. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. Mm-hmm. They've been doing it for 70 years. At that point, we have been doing it for 5, 6.
Their company is generational.
They're generational. Yeah. His granddaddy started this. He's like, my granddad came over on a boat from Italy and
didn't speak English.
Didn't speak any English, and people,
someone gave him an opportunity.
Gave him a shot. And it's just like, he's like, I like y'all.
And I want to give y'all a shot.
Gotta be more than numbers, right?
So
the numbers are what the numbers are.
Yes.
Right. But I think it's bigger than the build.
But
and that's where that phrase came from.
What he also did, what I like, was he wanted to make sure our numbers are right.
Right.
So you're a little low here.
Yeah, you're a little high here.
Like,
did you account for taxes? So we never accounted for taxes. So when you buy wood, if it's $7, which is like it is now for a 2x4, it's $7.32. He's like, you got to account for taxes too.
Because that adds up when you buy 4,000 pieces of wood.
So now you're paying for half of that wood through taxes.
Yeah.
You make them pay. That's not your price.
That's the crazy thing about the numbers. It's like, I don't even know if it's the number. I mean, the numbers have to be accurate, I would assume, but when you're dealing with big business, they understand the back end, right? Yes. They understand like, hey, we're doing this, but we got folks doing other shit, and we got to pay them, and they want to make money off of it too.
Exactly.
And I think they understand
delivery,
that. So
freight, all that stuff comes into play.
So you got to validate the numbers, but then you got to be likable. And I think having the Russells as a tandem, I'm sure, and you can speak to it, it works in your favor, right? Because everybody, even if you don't like individuals, you'll like the fact that a husband and wife are putting something together and they're running something and they're getting along.
Mom and pop shops.
Mom and pop shops. They're the fiber of they're the fabric of a community. They're the fabric of a community. We just talked about this offline, but we were talking about that. Like mom and pop shops. You talk about these big companies that do whatever, and everybody goes to these big companies or whatever, but like the shit that creates a neighborhood is the mom and pops that has something. The folks who are working directly with the people, right? And so you guys are networking, you're working directly with the people. So if you do an August Wilson Center or a New Granada Theater, it's like, all right, not only was it done well, but it was done by folks that you might run into, at Emerald City downtown when you're having a good level.
And I just want to
helped us.
And while the memory is fresh, and thought is fresh on my mind or whatever, I just want to, and we're talking about Emerald City. I just want to shout out the cleanliness and classiness of the bathrooms here at Emerald City, man.
Are they fantastic?
They are fantastic, right? And I'm not like me personally. So this is what they don't tell you about. What they don't tell you about, like entertainment and comedy and things of that nature, whatever is that.
The bathroom suck.
You have to poop in a lot of bathrooms. Publicly. You know what I'm saying? Not that I just pooped. And if I did, that's okay too. But what I'm saying is that you want the option of pooping if possible, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of shitty bathrooms out there.
There is.
No pun intended. And like whenever you find an establishment that like genuinely cares not only about like the cleanliness but the classiness of a bathroom, it makes you want to sit and have a decent time without being rushed, like not feeling like you're like inconveniencing them. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Like it was an afterthought, and it was like, we have to put this fucking room in here, and like so people can like really. It's like what? Hey, have a seat, have a good time, and when you leave here, go back to the party and feel confident about what you just did here, because
no one's gonna smell you.
Yeah, nobody's gonna smell you. There was nothing shameful about this.
I will say today though, it's extremely hot in there today.
It's hot as fuck.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I would not poop in there today.
This is our fault.
Fuck in there.
This is Russell General Contracting's fault. We are repairing the walls to prepare for a new art installation, so the windows are open. So the thermostats are cranking the heat. All the units on the roof, they're working really hard right now.
You're working overtime.
The bathrooms are closed off and not, getting any airflow.
Yes.
That's why it was so hot in here earlier. And I'm like, it's hot.
I walked in the bathroom and I was immediately dehydrated.
Immediately. Also, I will say that this feels like a home potty to me, and I'm very comfortable here using
That's important, and that's not something you get on site. Do y'all put shit in your porta potties on site?
Make it a point because I have had lady contractors, lady builders, lady carpenters, and I said the first thing we gonna do on some abandoned foolishness is put an operable toilet here, because y'all will go anywhere. But
here's the thing. That's
operable
what I was told.
toilets, yes, that's the thing.
I would know. So I like
you penis people.
Contractors.
See, I knew that was.
Because y'all can put it anywhere.
Men like to shit comfortably too.
Oh, I didn't say shit in the woods. Is that what you're doing?
No, shit comfortably. I said we like to shit comfortably.
So
no. I said we like to shit comfortably.
You just rubbing your ass on trees and shit.
You do.
That's
and
not how.
So
let me tell you how this messes everything up.
We put a space heater in our porta potty.
That's just it. Just something. We like some luxury too.
Can you imagine sitting on the toilet and your balls are freezing?
Yeah, that's
Bruh.
But like,
I have no comment.
And then have to go to work after that?
Yeah. What I do want to say is that like that was a thing that Kara, Krista from Leona's.
Oh yeah, shout out to them.
When we first started building the festival, she pulled me aside. She said, "Hey, because we asked somebody, we don't know how to build a festival. We were asking everybody, well, what do you love about festival? What do you hate about festival? What do you need to succeed? Type thing, or whatever." She pulled me aside once. She goes, "Make sure you have a lot of porta johns there."
That part.
And I'm like, "Huh?" Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, man. Like you need a lot of porta. There's never enough to the lines or whatever." I was like, "You know what? I didn't think about it." She's like, well, that's because you can just pull it and piss anywhere. You can piss anywhere you want. Of course you don't think about it. But we don't have, we don't have that luxury. And here's the thing about it, right? And when you talk about community building and when you're talking about like, quality in anything that you're doing, a diverse pool of people who are have that input, right, is worthy, because like when you build it for those less heard voices, you build better for everybody. Because who doesn't want a nice ass porta john? Yes. Just because we can get by on less doesn't mean that I don't like
Right.
more. You see
You know what
I'm
I'll
saying?
take? I'll just take the handle. So when I got to squat over the porta potty, on the door, it got a handle. And you can just like hold the handle so as to not have
That's
to
an
sit.
experience that
I understand.
I don't know nothing about.
That
experience
is
that I don't
what.
understand.
Therein
nothing about
lies
that.
my point. When I have women on my job site, my electrician is a woman-led organization. I'm like, nah, sis, we gonna make sure y'all got a potty.
So should that handle? Is it a smooth handle, or is it the handle
so
with
it's
the
built
with the
into
ridges?
it's built into
where
the
my
door.
fingers.
The real fancy ones is finger grip, right? So when you
All right.
squat down
the
and you
pistol
can.
grip pump in my lap at all times.
I will also suggest that you do leg day. Okay. Because leg day is a thing. We do work out. The Russells are gym rats also, but like
Respect. Wait a minute. Now I be in that thing.
I know I heard.
I don't be posting it. See,
I would
that's
like
what-
to.
be
I
in
would
that
like to
thing
claim that. But
on the regular.
if you see season 2 of Ed and Day in the Berg, you can tell that I be skipping leg day.
I feel like I've seen that, and I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it
Because
is.
we use our upper body. It's all esophagus, lungs.
We have to literally use the gluteus maximus
Yeah, we
muscles
don't- no.
to squat over every toilet. Now, what I will say about Emerald City is I don't feel like I have to squat here.
No, that's what I'm saying. It is so clean and classy in this motherfucker.
And they keep seat covers. Like,
And
They
we
do
got seat covers.
They got the good napkins.
The
They
good
got like
tissue.
it smells nice. They got mints in that motherfucker.
But what
Bro,
I
we got
don't
hair gel and bobby pins in the ladies'
See, I
rooms,
don't know about the
tampons.
ladies'
Tampons. See
And
again
pads.
that's progressive as fuck.
Yes.
When you-
And pads.
and shout out to Necromancers. I was just over there recently.
They
They
got
had
them-
like they
they
had
got the dip.
tampons
Yeah.
in the bathroom, whatever. Because you never know, and that's one another. But again, when you build for the least hurt of society, it makes a better product all around.
I feel like presentation is key. I feel like that with Russell. I feel like that with Emerald City. I'm here every day. I work here every day. And then folks be asking me questions. I'm like, I don't actually work here. But
Well, you
But
answer, but you answer a lot of questions that
I
wasn't
answer a
asked
lot
of
of
you.
questions,
You jump in, you answering questions.
and I love that because I give a damn.
But
Like
you
I love this
that's
place.
That's what it is.
I
When
love
you
this
care
place.
about, and so folks who participate in the thing that you're doing, if they care about it, they're going to want to present. They want to present that to other people,
And that
whether
is
they're on
how
the payroll or not.
That is how Russell works. We make sure that they give a damn. We take care of them. We train them for free. We all that other stuff that we do for them. I'm not charging them. I'm not taking out that they pay. I'm a pay to train you. You got to be up to my standard. And guess what? That ain't low. I want you to get here. I want you to work hard, and I want you to respect what it is that you're doing. Take some pride in the work that you are presenting, because guess what? You want to do multi-million-dollar jobs, you got to do multi-million-dollar work for real, for real.
you go.
And I feel that way about everything.
You got to
can't-
do multi-million-dollar work on small jobs.
everything.
Shit got to look. Shit got to look.
It
Plush.
got to look nice. We did the kitchen. Kitchen was pretty.
Ooh, the kitchen came out nice. I ain't gonna lie. Now look.
Now the
look.
cabinet fell off.
Well,
That wasn't us though.
you know what? We had a lot of people walking through our house. We actually had the guy. Shit, I forgot his name. I'm gonna look his name on my phone, but it was the dude. He ended up being murdered in the woods.
What?
Remember the guy? He got murdered in the woods, and they couldn't figure out who it was. He went out with a group
Are you
of friends.
indicting yourself?
No,
Are
no,
we
no, 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 no,
telling
no, no.
things
No, it was like
that
a
we
big
shouldn't be
story.
telling?
Should we cut the podcast right now?
No. We were not implicated at all.
Hey, Buzzy, cut that
out.
We're not implicated at all.
Okay.
It became like a
We
story.
walked through our kitchen.
Okay.
No.
And then he
it
was in
a
the woods.
story. It was a story in Pittsburgh. He had gone out to the woods with his friends, and he ended up dead.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking
he
about.
did our basement.
Oh, you mean
Did
the dude?
he?
You mean the dude?
He went out-
I didn't know that
with
was him.
the white people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, the
okay.
dude that
okay.
went out with the white people.
Went out with the white
and then,
people.
and then they said that he was trying to wild out.
They said
on
he
them.
started wilding out. He was on drugs.
And everybody black.
From Plum.
Everybody
From
black.
Plum.
Yeah.
Don't go in the woods.
Yeah,
White people.
everybody
Like,
black
don't do
know
it.
that you don't just go out in the woods with a bunch of white people.
No.
And start wilding out for no
Not
fucking
at all.
reason.
No, hold on.
Sorry
I'm
about
looking up. I'm looking up his shit.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
looking up his
bullshit.
name because he did our basement.
That's wild.
He
I
did
didn't
our
know
basement
that.
like months before that happened.
Yeah.
He did
That's
our basement. He
crazy.
epoxied the floor. He taught us dry fall. He put the
dry fall, yeah.
He
We
did
did
the
dry fall
bathroom in his
all
basement.
the
Like,
time.
yeah, I mean, I gotta look.
Yeah,
this
that's
up.
not a person that's out here just wilding out for no fucking reason.
No. He was a good guy, but
Did you burn sage in your basement after that?
I burned something in my basement. I was still smoking at that point.
There you go.
And he was Jamaican. He may have provided some of that. But shout out to Cookout Rest. He was a good dude. I gotta look up his name because it's been a couple of years. But I wanted to ask. She ran out because I wanted to ask. Well, I'll ask you, and then maybe we'll get her when she comes back. So with her having an architectural background, right? I got a friend. He's an architect, and he did his whole house, right? Mm-hmm. And part of the holdup on his house was he get too many ideas.
Yeah.
How do you? While she's not in here, you can be honest. How do you reconcile? Now you're doing these large commercial projects. Mm-hmm. Is it a situation where you looking at her renderings like, hey, look, babe, come on.
So
come on, babe.
On most of the projects we do,
it don't got to be all that.
On most of the projects we do, there's already an architect on file. So there's a registered architect like the Opera House. Okay. There's a registered architect, Milton O'Gott, who's all over the city. Mm-hmm. Like, he's dope. He has another registered architect and engineer, which is, Ryan England, who's dope. So normally the projects we go on,
yes, he did
City Studios,
City Development.
Yes,
Ryan, I used to do a lot of work with him.
Yes.
Good guy,
He's a good guy. So she's an architect, but she's not registered, so she can't do drawings.
She can't
and get a
stamp.
Right.
He got that stamp.
Yes, you need that stamp. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the projects we do there's already an architect involved most of the time. There's some stuff we can do, to the part, like we can, design build with them, with the client or whatever. But the majority of the commercial stuff, there's already an architect of record. So, it makes it a little easier for us. So we literally, it's like building IKEA furniture, but a little more, difficult. So when you look at the plans, it's like IKEA, like, all right. Once you figure out what it is, and which we teach our guys, like, all right, what is this? It looks like a 6-inch wall. Okay, good. You're good. You're right there. So right here, you need a 6-inch wall. Now, look at the design. Like, look at everything that's on here. Like, let's build this. And it makes it easier for them. Makes it easier for us. So we'll have big plans, and then we'll break them down to 11 by 17. And here, take this with you. Go up there and build it. Mm. And if you got any questions, let me know.
Confidence building.
Yeah.
So you've returned because seal breaker is a deal breaker.
You're building confidence.
It's literally.
Our discussion was on how you as an architect always try to get too fancy on the job, and he has to bring you back to earth. He didn't say it that way, but I said it.
So he did say it though, because we typically have architects already engaged. Mm-hmm. What is helpful for me in my training is understanding jargon. For real. So when we're sitting in these meetings, and they're high-level meetings, I mean, when you're dealing with a $12, $13 million project, we're not just talking about, well, which tile do you like? We're talking about some very real stuff that is extremely intricate, whether it's with the HVAC system, the plumbing system, the electrical systems, structurally, where are we putting this elevator shaft? That's what we're dealing with on New Granada right now, is moving this elevator shaft with the existing steel. New construction is way easier, for real, than historic restoration. We have found ourselves in a lot of historic restoration. So when you're dealing with this adaptive reuse of a structure that already exists.
See, that ain't in a contractor's vernacular. Adaptive.
But that's what I'm saying. So the firms that I came from, and shout out to Meyer Design in Philly. Like, I learned a lot from those folks, but like, we did a lot of adaptive reuse, a lot of LEED type projects. So LEED is the environmental consideration with regard to building, and not using products that have high VOCs. That's volatile organic compounds.
Okay, so wait a minute.
See, do you know what I have in my brain?
Are we doing LEED, LEAD, or is this
I'm sorry.
LEED?
See, look, let me teach you. LEED.
Figured. See, that didn't seem like it was going to be a regular lead. It wasn't like leader. This is an acronym.
But for those that are interested, go ahead and look up LEED certification, which is what the professionals get, the certification, and then LEED accreditation is what the building gets. So
let the listeners know she pointed at herself when she said professional.
I am not a professional. Wait. Let's not get it twisted. I am not LEED certified.
No, we in the room. Well, you took credit for it.
I got a little bit of history.
She said when the professionals. we
I
saw
said,
that. Don't
my
chime in
hand
and say
was
you got to go home
straight.
with her.
This needs to be not a podcast. It needs to be on video.
We can do this on video. That's the next step. So we got on video with the show. They might want to come and Drink Champs us. Drink Champs stole our whole shit.
I love that.
They stole
I
our whole
just want to
shit.
say, I mean,
They
I
stole our
saw
whole
that shit and I was like, well, that was us.
Yeah. They
We just
stole our whole
we
shit.
just didn't have a hit with the Neptunes.
Yeah, we didn't have a
mean?
Noriega.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who we got to get the tweet?
We was one hit.
But who
with
we
the
got to get the
Neptunes away.
tweet?
It take you a long way.
If Wiz would just come through and just sign on,
Like somebody signed the thing.
work with you on the festival. My wife done work with your mama. Come through, Wiz.
Through with the.
Hey, wait, we from Woodland Hills. We got a couple NFL players.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
a lot of
we
NFL
don't
players.
know
We
some
can come
champions.
through. You
Oh,
let
y'all
me know
trying
what
to
you
do like
want.
I am athlete. I don't know.
Yeah, let me know what you want.
Well,
I mean, they
talk
already-
about it now. I'm well versed in the sports.
They did a collab last year with Gris House. You know what I mean? So we already got the they did a collab with Gris House last year. That shit tastes like straight weed.
It
like,
definitely
surprise.
tastes
Sounds about
exactly
right.
like weed,
What I am athlete?
Because
It smelled like
they all
weed,
moved to
yeah.
California.
but it smelled so much like weed that's all I could taste. Yeah, I can see that. Cause you ever like try to break down a bud and swallow a little bit of it?
You be rolling the blunt. And a little bit of that get in.
And
you
get
know what I
in,
mean?
and you be like, well, let me see if this gonna work while I'm rolling.
Well, since we're talking about it, as a gardener, I'm a grower.
So you can do that.
Whoa,
You self-employed.
okay, again,
You
growing.
self-employed. You can do that.
I got
Very
bro.
legal
Listen to me.
things.
When
Tomatoes.
when the zombie apocalypse hits, don't come knocking at the door because folks was trying to
I'm
play me.
knocking on the door.
They're like, oh, you like all them
It's
plants?
Like how many doors are there to knock on? When the
bet you-
zombie apocalypse come, all that
all that knocking?
If you got
All
a
that
door,
knocking
Zombie
is
apocalypse
done.
you
come.
got a door and you got things.
You
I'm knocking on
can't.
it. You gonna have to strike a deal.
In my house, you can't knock on a single door if zombie apocalypse comes.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. And we can meet up.
Yeah,
Right.
But wait, cell
what's the
towers is
rendezvous?
down. How you texting me?
Well, you got to figure that out. My house is good.
I have carrier
We straight.
pigeons. I got crows that be bringing me gifts.
Straight. I
Y'all
got the
think it's a game? Like it's like that's literally how they work. They'll bring you little nuggets of things. And I give them seeds and whatnot. My chickens is happy.
So as a construction company, if you were to say, I mean, your pitch, hire the Russells. What is it that you bring to the table? You know what I mean? Like when you're bidding on things or whatever, what is it that like when you're bidding, what is it that you offer like in that? Like how do you, because I've never understood that when you come to it, outside of just like trying to underbid, right? What
I don't
else,
do that.
What else is it that you bring to like how is it, in the construction world? Because like for us, like, or anything, right? There's certain elements that you can add to it. There's certain experience you can add to it. There's certain thing, whatever. What is it like when you're bidding on a contract? What are the elements that the Russells bring to it that like, win out over others?
So I truly think that it is our united yet kind of separate background. Our project.
That's America.
Yeah.
That is
Our project base kind of speaks for itself. But the reality is, and you guys can disagree if you like, but you won't, we're kind of likable. Right? And with that likability, it's authentic. I mean, I genuinely give a shit. Montae genuinely cares. Should I not say shit? No, I'm not going to not say shit. Here's
what
why.
the hell?
Wait, no,
Have
because
you not
here's the
listened?
thing.
Yeah, you.
So I had
we about an hour into this podcast.
Shit.
You ain't been here.
You thought we
I
couldn't
had-
say shit?
I'm saying for a professional pitch, I had pens made, and on the pens I put the hashtag "We Build Stuff," right?
Yeah.
But the reality is, the hashtag and the mentality is, we build shit.
Yeah.
We literally out here building things from nothing. And you got some messed up stuff. I bet you we can make it pretty. Yeah. And the project base proves that. But the reality is, it's like we present well. I have some experience in like the marketing side, so it's just like paperwork looks good just because I do it. But that's when I need a team to somebody else to fucking do that shit. I don't want to do it anymore.
I know you, man.
I don't want to do it.
I can't wait till we fucking offload.
And
the
they
social
bring
media
Glenn
shit.
Levitt that you could just
And I bring scotch.
secretly you just grab the Glenn Levitt while they
You know,
talking.
it helps.
Hey.
It helps,
Caught up in
I
their
mean.
thought. No, we ain't sponsoring them. We ain't doing that.
Oh yeah, pay for that.
We just
Thank
said
you.
the name several times.
Several times.
I'm just stealing it.
Buzzy, can you bleep it out until they agree to pay?
Put the blur on the photo and say your brand here.
Oh, you
Legit.
logo. What I'll say from personal experience is this, and what I think is great is this: when you have someone working on your home, your building, whatever, right? You just want to know that they're accessible.
Yeah.
They're tapped in and they're accessible, because the reality of it is they ain't gonna be there. You know, they've gotten to a point where they ain't gonna be on site. At least not at every job. There'll be some sites where they're on site, but with our home, text away. And I didn't feel like it's because we have a personal connection. It's because we understand everything that's going on with every job. We know what's happening. We've sent folks out. We've deployed people to execute, but we know what's going on. We're at the head of it. And so whenever you're dealing with someone, when you're dealing with a company, and when you envision yourself at a certain space, you're not dealing with the person that you cracked the deal with. When you cut the deal, like even with the festival, you might have sent the application to Barrel and Flow. You know what I mean? We say, all right, yeah, you could woo. But now you're working with that brewer. Yeah. And so you got to trust that we have brought on a brewer that you can work with. Yeah. You know what I mean?
and if it doesn't work out, you have to trust that we're going to be there to help support and help facilitate, you know what I mean, and move things else. You know what I mean? We get taps and they go, hey, haven't heard, and like, you know, things are different. But again, you're not just abandoned afterwards. You know what I mean? You have to help facilitate that through. A question that I have is, you know, for folks that are like, you know, like say you want a kitchen build out, you want a remodeling or whatever, right? And you're looking for contractors. I've heard a lot of horror stories about contractors, this, that, and the other. Yeah. What are some advice that you can offer to folks that are looking at that going, you know, like, I mean, like to avoid those pitfalls? What are some things that people can kind of like look for to avoid, taking advantage of by a contractor? What would you suggest? Like, what is it about Russell's that you come in, you go, you know
they
what?
Moved out to residential, if I understand. They ain't doing the residential. But they like, we got their last residential project.
Yeah.
And they
we graduated.
Hey, I was fighting with Camille so hard.
They ain't want to do that.
But like, I mean, like if you, again, somebody's looking for something, what are some pitfalls that you can kind of avoid if you
So I have actually developed a checklist, because a lot of people reach out to me for a residential that we can't always take, right? It's just not, we don't have the time. We don't have the capacity to take on like your bathroom or your kitchen. Shit. It's not shame.
And
I always,
I do your bathroom.
Shut up.
You get marble. What you do with this bathroom? What, your toilet shifted?
And not gonna lie to you, I do feel bad about not having the capacity to take on those types of projects.
But I mean,
it's like a $6,000 project. That's.
But I mean, that's the beauty
so
of.
here's
That's
what
for
I've
the
done.
young Russell.
No, it wasn't.
Well, I was. Who was I talking to? It was something about. Somebody was saying like, you know, I can't take on everything.
Right.
Right. So like,
And
you
we
know,
gotta draw a line.
building a network. A friend of mine, she's in the mental health, like,
Got
you.
Yup.
And she was saying like, you know, I'm full. You know what I mean? Like, I can't take any more clients. So I refer them to a bunch of people. And, like, I have a network of other, like, we have the plan as they say, because, you know, I can't take it on. So I refer to other people. It can't be competition. It has to be cooperative. I specialize in what I specialize in. I know my lane. And if I can't do that, then I can refer you to somebody of quality. Now, one, you're building a community because it's vice versa. You refer somebody to there, somebody
They
go, you know what?
back.
They
I can't take
refer
it.
back, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, like, listen, I do kitchens. I don't do, I mean, like August Wilson. You understand? So then they hit you up, right? And that's the beauty of understanding your lane.
That's kind of how we work. Like, there's people I'm gonna always send work to. Hey, call this guy, call this lady. Like, I'm always send y'all work. Whether you take it or not, that's on you. But now I've done my due diligence and I've sent it out to you. It might not come back, and I don't get mad at it. But I know I can't do it.
And it's better than trying to take on too much, or you know what I mean, like not referring it to somebody that might be able to utilize that.
And part of that consulting piece, like we do that. So I tend to send people that I get they'll send it through their website, they'll send them through Facebook. They'll tag me on something, and I'm just like, okay,
I appreciate
you know, this person. If these people that I am sending you that I trust can't take it, here's what you need to look out for: get a COI, a certificate of insurance, certificate of insurance.
Right.
It
Make
has
sure they have insurance.
validation, right? It has rates. I'm sorry, not the rates, but the dates of it being actually active.
This is for the contractor.
This is for the contractor. The contractor needs to be insured.
Yes.
The contractor also needs to probably provide you with some references and some photos of work they've completed. If you go to, I don't care who it is, if it's somebody I recommend or somebody that you just find on Beyonce's internet, right? Like if somebody out there is advertising services, here's what you need to get from them. That includes a certificate of insurance, making sure that they are insured. I'm not going to say bonding for residential because bonding is a process and it's very expensive. But if they're bonded, that's even better. Photographs of work completed and references for said photographs, because you could pull a photograph from anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to start a company.
You could say a picture,
Pictures
like
and
you could send a
decks.
picture from any TikTok that you found.
Hell yeah.
And be like, yeah, I did this, but you didn't. I need a phone number and an email address for the person to make sure that I can go back and validate this experience that you claim you have. Any type
fishing, they out here contract fishing.
No.
Listen.
We know a guy that we had to get away from who was contract fishing.
Literally.
Like he would literally take a job just to take the money.
And do no work.
And do no work until it's time, like, hey, no work's getting done. He's broke. All right, I need another check. Go get this job to this point and then don't come back until I'm broke again. So it's tough in the contract world because there's a lot of people
there's a lot of
who are doing shady shit. So
there's a lot of paperwork out there that can protect you if you know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So the American Institute of Architects, that is the AIA. We utilize most of their documents. That could be a pay application. That could be a contract. That could be a change order. Like all of these documents are facilitated by this organization that is internationally accepted.
And you're bound by that contract.
I got some folks right now that's really trying to play with me on that contract. And I'm like, it's legit.
You got it right.
Right. Like it's right here in paper and you signed it.
How you want to do it?
How do you want to do this? So make sure that you're protecting yourself at every cost. If you need to feel like you need to get a second opinion, get a second opinion. All of our houses are different. Every house that every person in this room lives in is a different structure with different history, with different levels of care and maintenance. All of those things are going to be different, specifically on the residential side, but that's also for the commercial side.
Yes.
You know, that's on any platform or avenue that you want to go down.
Any historical building.
Buildings. You don't know what, when that building has been empty for 30 years.
Yeah.
You don't know what the heck happened. Termites, rats, your foundations failed. There's a lot out there.
And in Pittsburgh got a lot of hills.
Yes.
That foundation be moving.
Specifically on the hill.
That should be moving.
There's a lot of natural springs on the hills.
Natural springs.
Yes.
We're trying to bottle some water underneath the New Granada Theater because it keeps filling up these holes. And we're like, this is really pretty clean water. Let's just bottle this.
Hill water.
Hill water.
Oh, okay.
Agua Hill.
Before we get out of here,
No, hold on. I got one more for you to do your thing.
Cool.
So because I know what he can do.
I know we're dragging over. He's tired of us.
No. He's good. No, Day has a question that we don't really need to record, but he's going to ask it anyway.
Will.
But I have a valuable question, and wifey just walked in, and she didn't wear that earlier.
I love her though.
She's showing off now.
She got her hair
what the hell
green.
happened?
She didn't have that on earlier.
Not the green hair.
No, this she got a green chin. Like her whole shit. Did she go through like what?
Wait,
Camille, we just went through our ancestry.
No, this wasn't yesterday. She was just earlier today. She was like a very
this is my thing.
Sorry,
this ain't about her. This is my thing.
Are y'all Irish?
We'll talk to Camille off air. Although
her ear is green, so that's sprayed
I
on.
provided those cargo pants. Anyway,
not the cargo.
So, real question though, and this is serious. So now we from the consumer standpoint, we've approached that. For the contractors, the I got a guys. So there are a lot of people who've lived off of being the guy that folks have. What should they do to not even to scale, but to legitimize themselves and make themselves more attractive to be put on as a sub for a larger contract, or for folks who, because we got a lot of transplants coming into the city. They're buying homes. They need some work. Like, how do you make yourself more attractive as a sub?
It's gonna take time.
It's gonna take time.
The reality is, I'm going through a cohort with Bridgeway Capital. And
shout out to Bridgeway.
They be doing making a move
with the startups, and they really trying to do.
And they're there.
The money
to
where the mouth is.
That part. But I'm going through a cohort with Bridgeway, and I've been through a bunch of these cohorts, and a lot of them are extremely helpful if you're a 1 and 2 man team that is just starting out. But you need to, one, understand the landscape in which you are operating, and B, one and B, you need to make sure that you are
is kicked in.
tight. No, one and B, I always do that.
I know you always do that.
I want to make sure that people understand that back end. Glenn Livet. I can't even answer the damn question.
What we're gonna do is blur that out. Can we audio blur that and then just send them a little something saying you can have this if you're willing to pay.
Hey, let them hear the drop, and then how much you trying to pay for
where
it?
that came from.
Don't put it on the episode.
How much you
Just
trying to
send
pay
it
for
to
this?
them. Don't just live it.
At this point, she was livid.
Livet. You got to understand, one, where you're at, and two, what you don't know. There are so many programs out here, whether it's the Hill CDC, whether it's the Energy Intervention Center, whether it's the Riverside Innovation Center, whether it's Bridgeway. There are so many programs out there that are willing to teach us things. If you can just get through a little application process, it may take time. Am I annoyed that every other Tuesday I got to get up and go to this course? What I will tell you is that when I went to this course and I got read for filth in one of these first courses, and I'm just like, damn, I ain't realized that I needed to reevaluate if my business structure was the right structure, or you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. I'm an LLC. Do we need to be an S corp? Do we need to be a C corp?
Literally.
So the S corp that further protects you from risk.
That's
right?
what I'm
But I thought that
saying.
was for risky, like
It is. Here's the thing.
type of
Construction's risky. The problem with construction is risky. So it's like
shit could fall on you.
when
in that
she
moment.
was literally out here just reading off the benefits of being of each type of business structure, and this is just a cohort that I'm just like, oh, it's Tuesday. I don't want to eat Jimmy John's again. Like, I was tired. I didn't want to go, but I kept going. And now I got a dope finance company that is helping us get our back end together, because she was explaining things that are more than just your profit and loss sheet,
It's
more than
where
just
you
your
are.
balance
It's
sheet.
where you going.
She's literally like business advising us on things that we started deciding. I was pregnant. We didn't know what we was doing, and it just kind of took off.
And she came home like
I was like, we got some shit to
we got
do.
some shit to, we got some shit to do. We got some shit to talk about.
I've had that.
I need to hire her, and I'm
I need
like,
to hire this. I need to hire this. I need to hire this. And he's like, all right, cool.
I'm to the point like my guys are cool. All right, now we need to focus. We're focusing on you. What you need?
Give me some help.
Like, let's get you
We're
some help.
focusing on us. It's just a different.
It's the business.
I
It's a
gotta
different side of the
look
business.
outside of. I'm hands on.
Yeah.
you behind the scenes, but behind the
Literally.
scenes affect that bottom line.
Yes.
Absolutely.
equally,
Yes.
if not more. And
Man.
so that's
Somebody to
crazy you
follow
say
up
that,
on pay
sport.
applications that are submitted that have a net
Preach.
30, right? Like
Net 30s and them net 60s is killer.
And when they turn into a net 90 and you
'Cause
don't got
you
nobody to
don't
follow
even
up on it,
know.
like, it's wild.
You don't even know a lot of
You
times.
don't
You just look up
know.
like, hey, fam.
Because
So
we
we-
got a couple jobs. We're like, oh, it's a year out. Like, yo, you owe
I'm
us
not
some
happy
bread.
with this piece of paint. I'm not paying you $12,000. Bro, listen.
Read your contract.
Read your contract, but like having somebody to actually enforce that, because I'm doing so much
Right,
other
yeah,
stuff
right.
that I can't be like, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to her, all right, I'm gonna get to him, all right, I'm gonna get to this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Like we'll get there, right?
Skill will
But I
outgrow the
think
skill.
Yes, it will.
Real quick.
that part.
Got it. You got
So
it.
that's what I'll say as far as that goes. It's literally just about literally building your team and making sure that you have people that can implement. Even if you don't know, having a good business advisor is bananas.
And
having
where's a good place to build out that team?
networking.
Emerald City.
Emerald City.
Emerald City.
No.
God damn it.
Wait,
man.
Definitely
You're the
Emerald
vice
City.
president
Place
of the board.
That was alley oop.
I tossed
Alley oop. We got smacked off the board.
She missed that
Smacked off the
one.
board.
No, I didn't, but I caught it when I did.
I'm trying to get my 2 weeks. Shit, I got 14 days in front of me.
Wait, I don't come here. I don't come here. So she was like, oh, the mayor came through and I met somebody,
Legit.
another mayor, a former mayor in Atlanta, and he said we need to get there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? It's crazy because you're just saying, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel you.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna help me put a wall up.
But that's the point. That's the point.
Lane,
That's the
man.
point of
No,
dividing
but
the roles.
it's not
Yeah.
to it's not to
Right.
diminish that. It's just it's going to there's certain aspects of whatever life we have that are going to affect you more than
Yeah.
and so I'm good, great, you doing that. Now I'm making it more efficient when we execute. I'm knocking the time down. I'm getting folks better
Yes.
trained. You know what I mean, I'm knocking shit out. You know,
But it's
I'm
also
be-
less shit that he has to hear me
Yes.
complain about.
Yes.
When I
But
got the help.
So you
It
said
also-
it, I didn't.
Yes.
You said it, I didn't.
But it-
fellas,
it
get
also
your
comes-
ladies, fellas, get your ladies enrolled.
Get 'em some
in
help.
Emerald
So
City.
it also
Take a lot
comes
off your
into
plate.
like her being so it like it goes full circle. Her being in Philly for so long, and me being here, I know people. So when we first started, like it was all the people I knew.
Right.
That got us. All right, we here, we making money. Then it was like, all right, we knew people. Like so that parlayed into all right, other people are noticing us. So now it's like, all right, me. I'm cool playing the background.
Well, you already know people.
Yeah.
You're comfortable. You've lived in
Yeah.
a certain spot. She's been
Yes.
she's been meeting
So-
people the entire time here.
She's social. She likes to talk. Me, I'm like,
He called me
let's
a
just get the
butterfly.
dog. Like, yeah,
I got a tattoo
But
for
like,
a butterfly.
I like to play the background, and you handle that to the point it got.
Singing in the background.
But then I was like, do I need to like show my face a little bit? Because even her own cousin was like, well, what do you do?
Whoa.
I was
don't
like-
do me like that.
I ain't even hear about that, but I was
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, if she does everything. I was like, I build the fucking buildings. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, there is that, like,
Yeah.
because I had that same question. I was like, so how does this work? You know what I mean?
Right. So everybody's
you
like,
get the
what do you
feast.
do? I'm like, I built the fucking, I make sure the shit get built right. And I'm like, but I let her be the face because she's social.
she's good at it. She's good at it.
She's good at it.
if you want to say
Lanes.
she's cute, you can
Yeah.
say
Like,
that.
lanes,
Yeah,
man.
lanes.
Everybody
She's
He
got
would
good
that
have
at
to
it.
say that. He
Me,
would have to be the one to say
I'm
that.
like laid back. Like I don't want
all husbands.
I don't want to. You know, she's like, oh, I'm going to like, you know, there's a meeting down at, you know, Greenwood. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Go
like,
handle that.
You
right?
know what's crazy?
Don't
you know
I
what?
feel
Don't
that.
get that.
I'm
It
gonna take
is-
care of the kids.
Yeah,
you
you
go
get
do
that.
that.
You know what I
I'm gonna
mean?
cook
Get that
dinner.
bag.
Like, yeah,
That
like,
is something. That is a
Yeah.
learned behavior by
Back
generation.
again.
Yeah.
That's in effect. Oh.
What I've found, and wifey, it's the same way. It's like I don't have to fully understand the benefit of whatever. If you're
Yes.
telling me that it's going to be an outcome that works,
You
then
got
go
it.
do it.
Go do it.
And that's crazy because
Just
I've had
let
to
me know.
explain to him board roles and this meeting or that meeting. Like all the things that I'm doing, there's a
don't even
method
wanna-
to
I don't
my
wanna
We
madness.
just
know
listen.
that
We
shit,
just be
man.
like, cool, but hold on.
Buzzy said
for
we
the
done.
fellas, for the fellas though. Okay, so you gotta let me know ahead of time,
I do.
and you gotta be okay with me not knowing.
Yeah.
If I'm
No,
like- so
everything
even-
goes in the calendar.
You gotta-
If it's not in the calendar, it
not
don't
knowing
exist.
that it's happening,
Even
just not
today.
knowing what's coming from it.
Even today, I've reached 40. She's like, "Oh, we gotta do
40.
this podcast with the drinking part." I'm like,
Don't do me like that.
"It's Sunday."
It's always good. 'cause
It's Sunday.
It's all good with us.
I'm like, "It's Sunday." She's like, "Yeah, I knew it was gonna be
It's
fun."
all good with
But
us.
I'm like, now I gotta pull this energy.
was watching-
You gotta take a shower and shit. Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I gotta
it's a different Sunday.
Yeah, I gotta pull this
mean, it's
energy
cool.
from
He
everywhere.
got 5 bracelets
Yeah.
on. He got 5 bracelets on. Don't let him do that. He knew what it was.
Wait, we was out. We had bowling Friday, right? We went out to a couples partner last night.
So it's a full weekend.
like-
Sunday's supposed to be your naps.
Tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday,
back to it.
I ain't got shit for you.
man.
I ain't got shit for you. I ain't got
But
shit
we
for
got
you.
work to do. We got a meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks.
Yeah. But
No.
Be there.
selective energy.
You got a meeting at 10.
selective
you just talking
energy.
about how you the back end.
Or be square. This is an on-site meeting. This is some steel that's actually going
Wait,
into
I
the
was
building.
tired.
I tried.
So before we got here, I had a couple drinks. I'm like, all right, I could do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
Now I didn't pull all the energy from the universe. All right, I can do this.
Yeah.
She's like, it's gonna be fun. I'm
And,
like,
and for the
it's gonna
listeners,
be
hey,
fun.
we brought a lot out of. We appreciate you, Taylor.
Yeah,
we
no,
brought a
yeah.
lot out because you do.
And I will
'cause Tay
say-
and
I
we
appreciate-
connect like that because we'll
Yeah.
play the background. If we in a situation with Mill and Lexi there, we like y'all go ahead. We in the cut.
Wait.
this.
She was
gonna be
like,
drinking.
first time, like we literally like met and like sat down. Like I met him a couple times, like doing his crib, like everything. But the one brunch, we sat down. Like, I was quiet. I ain't say nothing the whole brunch. He showed up. Camille was like, y'all gonna be all right. Like, he's coming. I know y'all both the same. Y'all both quiet. Literally, he came. We cracking jokes the whole time.
Because we don't gotta be standing.
Yeah, we ain't gotta be like homeboy.
I'm gonna tell
dress
you about
shoes was
dudes like
tight.
this though. My mom asked me questions about marrying him because he is not vocal with his clownery, and when he started making jokes and my mom actually heard him,
none of her business.
she was like, "Wait, did he just say?" And I'm like, "No, he did. I'm sorry."
I pull
It's
that
fine.
out. I pull that out. I'm even with wifey. I'm very strategic, and when I pull it out in front of the family, just to let them know she happy.
Yeah,
and I'm back in the cave.
I'm funny.
Yeah, I'm funny. Don't.
And funny's attractive.
Yeah, you go.
Ed spent some time with some Wooded Hill niggas.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
Get your little question off.
If you ain't have thick skin, you couldn't get through Woodland Hills.
Yo, automatic.
You couldn't get through Woodland Hills.
That was the baseline. You
Yes.
walked
Here
in
they
the
go.
door,
Yes.
it was ripping. Yeah,
Yes.
like, you know.
Man,
But wait. Ask her about her 7-year-old. All she do all day.
She's a butthole.
All day.
She's a problem.
It was an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Lunchtime, you know what I mean? It
Like
was just
today, she hit me with something, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm not mad at you.
You little girls be hitting you with
You
shit.
sound like me.
Yep.
I'm not mad at you.
My daughter, she 9. She
You
hit
win
me
it.
with some shit.
Kai, it's absolutely-
Kai be fucking me up sometimes.
Literally.
She fucking me up sometimes.
Yeah, you win it.
So before we get out of here, we got a question.
I feel like he started. He stopped.
No,
No,
we
he
got
been
it.
waiting. He been waiting.
He said, "I don't give a
We're
hell
gonna
what y'all
let it
talk about
happen.
now."
Before we got it, question.
Yes.
Very important.
Very good.
Dig down deep for this one.
Digging.
What is your favorite form of potato?
Love language. Go first.
My favorite form of potato.
If you say scalloped, I'm divorcing
I'm
you.
not gonna say scallop. Wait.
Golly.
So that's a
Leading
problem for me.
the witness?
I grew up on scalloped potatoes.
Leading the
I
witness.
can't make scalloped potatoes.
Let that man like what he
Yeah,
like.
right. You see what I mean?
What he's supposed to do about that? Do shit taste good?
Yeah, it tastes good. Even in the box form, it tastes good.
Scallops is some
Oh,
good shit.
my God.
Scallop, even in the box, because I grew up on
Yes.
the box, and then I had
Same.
the real ones, and I was like, it's
So,
good.
so,
But yeah.
so growing up from no money to growing up with money, you see
I like
the
how he
difference.
pointed to me for money.
You see the
I'll
difference.
take that.
We heard that.
Plum,
What we
And-
do.
Plum versus Braddock,
Right, you know what I'm
Rankins,
saying?
like,
Right?
I'll take it.
Braddock Beach.
I ain't even
Yes,
know you
out
was
of
a
the
plum.
Braddock
That's
Beach.
a
I told you my
suburb
kids drink
of a
Perrier.
suburb.
I told you my
Literally.
kids drink
That's
Perrier.
a suburb of a suburb.
Yes.
You 2 suburbs in.
That suburb of all suburbs.
Rude.
No, but I would have to say it got to be regular French fries. My grandma, we used to talk about this recently. So my grandma would make hand-cut fries, peel
Okay,
them,
hand-cut French
cut them, hand-cut French fries. And my cousin, he was an NFL pro, Shantae Spencer. Shout out to Shantae Spencer.
We went to
Shout out to
we
Shantae
went to-
Wait
Spencer.
for the name drop.
So,
With champions.
what
Stevie
champion?
B.
What champ? Stevie B.
I didn't spend too many vacations with
So-
Steve.
So listen,
He ain't allowed to eat French fries when he's in there.
he hit me up one day. He said, "Cuz," I said, "What's up?" He said, "How did your grandma make them fries with the vinegar and they still wasn't soggy?" I said, "You know what, cuz? I don't know.
High heat.
I don't know.
High heat.
I don't know." I said,
look at her trying to
all I
insert
know-
herself.
I already
I
know.
said,
She
all I
trying to
know.
insert herself.
So I'm a big TikTok advocate of cooking. So I watch TikTok all day. Cooking shows.
TikTok advocate.
Man, like I am. Cooking shows on TikTok got me in a chokehold right now. Every time I find something, I'm making that. That's new.
Ask him why I bought him a
Woodland
Blackstone.
Hills dudes. This is why we
Man.
love y'all, but we don't know if we
Listen.
can respect you.
You gotta
I'm
respect
a
that.
TikTok advocate of cooking. On
TikTok has taught me more about any and everything than the teachers have done in my whole life.
Home ec was trash.
I
Literally.
don't even remember having that class.
I did.
Yeah,
but
I had
I
that
made a
class.
quilt in home.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
That
no,
actually
but
is very useful.
he would. I was like, what I can remember
I don't
from her
remember how
making
to do
those
it, but I
fries.
did
Same thing I see on TikTok today. You peel the fries and you soak them in water, ice water.
kills the starch. I was like, yo,
yeah,
my
you
grandma,
put an ice bath in it. Yeah.
my
It's
grandma
called
was
ice
on
bath.
that back in the day.
Yeah.
Without TikTok, without knowing, she already knew what to do. Put it in that ice bath.
I don't feel like grandmas knew what
No,
starch
my-
was.
nah,
We all
listen,
knew what to do.
listen.
I don't even think
Ancestral?
but whether or not you knew what
Whether
starch
they knew what starch
you knew
was,
that
you
that is
knew
what made
that
it happen.
process.
Once I
You might
cut
not
these
know the
fries,
science.
yeah.
You didn't know the science behind that
Yeah.
shit, but you know if you do it, it works.
She would cook them.
Something
Yeah.
tastes different.
She would cook them, deep fry them, and then throw that vinegar on them before Long John Silver's came along with they malt vinegar.
Yeah.
She was already on it.
So the thing is, so when I went out to England, they do a lot of like that's what they do. They
Fish and chips.
They put the fish and chips,
Yes,
the
yes,
vinegar
yes.
or whatever.
Yep.
But again, like the thing that I love about like, and that's what we ask this question all the time or whatever. You know what I mean? When it comes to like food and whatnot, like it's just flavor is a big thing, and
Yes.
everybody talks about flavor. But texture is such a huge
Texture
important.
is
You know,
important.
whether you're talking about the mouthfeel on a beer or a liquor or whatever, or you're talking about like
Yes.
texture
Yes.
on things.
Yep.
And with potatoes, really the only thing that separates this potato from that potato is the texture.
preparation.
It's the texture.
It's the texture.
The
It's the
preparation
same
of it,
motherfucking
yes.
thing. Is
Yes.
it mashed? Is it fried? Is
Yeah.
it crispy? Is it salty? Like, I mean,
Is it baked?
scalloped?
Like,
yeah,
what-
is it
yeah.
hashed? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's all,
yeah.
That texture adds so much to a. You know what I mean?
So in my household, we could do any texture except scallop.
so
We
then-
can bake it. We can hash it.
Whatever
Like,
you want.
we can fry it. Whatever you want.
We ain't scalloping no damn potato.
We not scalloping no
won't let you
potato.
scallop?
No,
So
she won't
then
let me scallop.
What's your favorite?
I am a home fries girl.
Ooh, I love a
I
good
love a home
fry.
fries.
So wait,
Love
what
With the-
kind of home fries are you?
Not like hash brown, but like quarter triangular
Like the
square chunks
Yeah, yeah.
with onions and peppers.
Okay.
Yeah, onions, peppers. Yeah.
Some seasoning. You got to season it up. You got to season it while they're cooking, and then when they come out, you got to put them in a metal bowl, and you got to season them again and toss them.
You gotta crisp up the onions.
You got to crisp up the onions because you got to saute them a little bit before you put them in the
before you
in
put
the
them shits in.
situation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So my mom used to make the circle cut home fries. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, just chop it or whatever. But it was the same technique. You know what I mean,
Yep.
onions, peppers. You know what I mean, sauteed
Yep.
and whatnot. Throw some seasonings
What's
in
the
that bitch.
difference between a home fry and a hash brown?
Hash browns are like finely shredded potato. It's not quite
Yeah.
mashed.
It's hash.
It's like hash.
hash is a
Yeah.
whether it's hash or
it's like you take it
brown
over
or-
a grater and you just
Right.
and it's like
Like
little
stringed,
strings of
yeah.
stringed potatoes.
Yeah.
That's a
But
thing.
they be fried and they end up
They
frying
don't
together.
because
Yeah.
here's the
By the
thing with the
time, so it's
hash
like- Yeah.
browns, like the hash potatoes, they can form shapes.
Well, no, that's the
'Cause
McDonald's hash brown.
Right,
That's that
but it's a little
weird
bit closer to
surfboard
mashed,
shape.
where mashed is a
What
little
is
bit more
that shape?
malleable.
What is that
Oblong.
surfboard shape?
It's an oblong,
It's not a rectangle because it has circular ends.
cylindrical. No, it's not cylindrical.
Oh yeah. No, I don't even know what the fuck you call
Surfboard.
that, man. That's the
Surfboard.
iPhone.
Surfboard.
That's
See,
a- that's the
I
iPhone.
get the, on second, I get to
No.
singing. But no, yeah, all right. I'm not gonna let you.
Are we still recording?
We are recording.
Very much,
So,
very
all
much.
right. So we can end recording by letting the people know where they can find you.
You can find myself on Facebook, Lexi Russ, or Montae at Montae Russell. He seems to be indisposed at the moment, but also,
is a deal breaker.
Some of them beautiful bathrooms.
so those beautiful bathrooms are
Classy and
getting all of
cleanly.
the Glenlivet right now.
Yeah.
Also, we are on Instagram, Russell General Contracting, Russell GC is the easiest way to find us, and at our website, www.russellgc.com. And you could, the website's not as nearly as fun as the social media. I have a lot more updates there. But, if you need to determine whether or not we're worthy of your cause, go to the website. But also just, hit us up on social media. You'll see a whole bunch of in-action photos and the guys actually doing the work that they do because they're amazing.
At the Drinking Partners, we can be a reference. We can be a reference.
Not me adding
Seal
a new
approval.
reference today.
Yeah, there you go. They let the people know where they can find us.
Hey man, if you're looking for us, you can find us here at Emerald City.
Yeah.
Hey.
Downtown, 213 Smithfield. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can also find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. And you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play.
Googleable.
And Spotify under Drinking Partners.
Hey, listen, we want to thank the Russells for coming through. And just a note, so Peter Spencer was the individual that I spoke of earlier, contractor in my basement, God rest his soul.
Yes.
But yes, the Russell General Contracting, they don't do residential, but they can point you in the right direction.
We will do residential if you're a good.
If you got a big ass house, that's code for you got to have a mansion.
You want to do the whole house?
You got to have like a Shady Side mansion or Squirrel Hill mansion. They'll do that. But if you in any one of the, if you in like a 221, like a 0.5221, they gonna refer you off. But they do
zip code.
We do work by zip code.
No, but good shit. Like if you all, anything, if you can reach out to them, they can advise to a certain degree. Now we ain't past a certain point, you gotta
We
pay
can
them
see
for
you
that.
somebody who
They can
trust.
refer. They can refer it. You know what I'm saying? Just when you got local businesses, local companies, local people who are trying to affect change, man. It's great to see it. Great to see your growth. I'm glad that we were your last residential project. Yeah,
You were.
Yes.
Outside of my house.
Outside, well, that don't count.
Yeah,
Shit,
don't
you gotta
count.
do what you want for yourself. They got chicken, so anything you can ask them a host of things.
Ask me for some eggs.
Don't ask them for no eggs, because eggs are at a premium. But as always, Drinking Partners Crew is the crew. Epicast is the family. Very local is where the show is. Come out every Thursday. Look at us. barrelandflow.com/events. We doing all of our episodes, premiere episodes. You know what I'm saying? March 16th was the first. Don't know when this is coming out. We out there, and we out here.
That was fun.
My boy, him and his wife Oh, I was trying to get like green dust.
Yeah, I was like,
they have to
see about a day late.
Have to do it for the parade. They have to do it with
So it's like Tibet. It's like